Welcome to our new series, the 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
So Soto, I going back, I did want to see a serious movie, and so I think I went to Netflix, and again I was just like, I saw this movie, and I know I texted you this, and I saw it was I have my wrong notes here, so I was trying to look for the I think it came out in 2018. Yes, there we go. Sorry about that. Let me get the right page of notes. Yeah, 2022. Sorry, 2022. I saw the film The Whale.
Okay, and seen that.
And I was curious because I know Brandon Fraser won an Academy Award, which I think at the time, because there's a time where he was the it guy and then he disappeared. And there's a lot of movies he did that I loved, old school like School Ties and stuff like that. Even the Mummy franchise was fun. And
not mentioning Encino Man, like really?
Oh, you know what? I love Encino Man. Yes, all right.
I used to always say that was his best role was Encino Man.
I don't know.
Before he was an Oscar, but he was awesome in Encino Man. He was a very believable caveman.
Yes. But so I was like, I'm curious. I got to see what this movie's about, why it got so much buzz. It also stars Sadie Sink. She plays Max in the Stranger Things, who did a phenomenal job. But yeah, so for those who don't know, he's just a very overweight man who's teaching kind of English online courses. And yeah, but he doesn't, use his camera on the online courses. But it's so, this movie's so weird, Soto, because this is going to be a hard review because it's so depressing, but yet so motivating at the same time.
Wow.
And so what happens is he has a friend who kind of comes and takes care of him and stuff like that, kind of like overseas. And you start off, he's in the middle of what I can only presume might be a heart attack, a cardiac arrest. And there's actually a young man from the missionary at his door who happens to knock when this is happening. And he tells the guy to come in, and the missionary's like, what do you need me to do? Should I call an ambulance? He's like, no ambulance, just read this to me. And it's just like a report on Moby Dick. And he all of a sudden he calms down. He's happy. His friend comes and she's like, you need to go to the hospital. He's like, insurance is just too much. I can't afford it. And she's just like, listen, I'm listening to you. You're going to be dead in the week. If you keep this up, you need to go to the hospital. And the actress who plays his friend, phenomenal job. I think I read she was up for Best Supporting Actress as well. She didn't win. So the acting in this is phenomenal. So I forgot to mention what threw me off when I started this film. So I'm watching this film. Remember back in the Blockbuster days when DVDs were coming out and there was full screen and widescreen, and full screen obviously fit the TV and people didn't understand it. So this film,
oh my God,
is shot in full screen. And I was kind of confused because obviously I had the black bars on the side. I'm like, wait, did I choose the wrong thing? And I went back. I'm like, what something happened to my Netflix? And I looked, the director made that as a choice. That is an obvious choice.
The 4:3 aspect ratio.
The 4:3 aspect ratio, because, and I still call it full screen. I know now in today's TVs, that's not full screen, but I'm going to go old school Blockbuster. And he did it to make
oh my God,
everything more, just more confined, and it shows off the weight a lot more and makes it so uncomfortable because it's so focused on Brandon Fraser. He plays Charlie, his character, and stuff like that. So yes, it took me a little bit to get, I'm like, oh, this was a choice. This is how I'm watching it. I'm like, I can only imagine people who saw this in theaters like, what the fuck's going on? Like, there's nothing.
Why are there black bars on the side?
Well, no, again, because I'm just like, I'm confused. I'm like, did I choose the wrong thing? So, but anyhow, as the movie goes on, so he realizes he does not have much time left. And he reaches out to, you find out he has a 16-year-old daughter who he has not seen since she was 8. He left her and her mom because it turns out Brandon Fraser, or the character Charlie, is gay. And he basically, who was also a student. Now, it was a night class, so this wasn't like an under 8. This is, at least more of an adult student. I'm going to clarify that. but yes, he cheated on his wife with one of his students. He was in love with this man, and so yes, he left his wife, but also left his daughter. And she had not seen him since she was 8 years old. And he wants to get, he invites her over, and he just like, I hear you're doing bad in school. You know, what's going on? I will write you. You know, she's about to leave because, you know, she's like, I've not seen you in 8 years. And she's kind of also a bitch about everything. She's like, am I going to get fat as you? And yeah, so he's like, I will do your work. Just come visit. And he's trying to build a weird relationship. But so, like I said, this movie, all these characters are in a way, I don't want to say they just have made bad choices. So I don't want to say they're bad people. So that hence it's depressing. And in a weird way, they all kind of want to redeem themselves. And yes, this movie takes some weird twists and turns, but so I was in it. Like, I was into these characters despite all their flaws and stuff like that. You're just watching, and every time he loses it, like anytime like his daughter's against him or like his friend, like when he goes on an eating binge, like it's so hard to watch. Like he gets, you think he's going to do good, and he's trying to do better. He has like this drawer full of candies, and then he's just stuffing his face, and like it's they purposely do it. Or like after his friend saves him from trouble, heart attack area, she brings over a bucket of chicken, and he's just chowing down on it. So there's just so much. It is so, I don't want to say cringe. It's just hard to watch because you feel so bad because every time you think he's turning a corner, something happens and he doesn't. Because especially with what you find out that the lover he had committed suicide, and a lot of it was because of the church. And that's where this missionary comes in, because it's the same place where he's coming from. This guy's young. He's like not even probably 20. He seems like 18, they never say his age, 18, 19, 20. And he believes he's been brought there to help save him. And, Charlie is just like, I know everything about this, this new life. I've read all these pamphlets. It's just not for me. And the missionary keeps coming back. Like, what can I do? Like, I don't know why. And yeah, obviously you find out what's different about him, but turns out the whole reason that Brandon Fraser's character has a problem with new life is because his boyfriend was part of it. His dad ran this missionary thing. And when he came, he didn't want to come home because he was realizing he was gay. And he came home, started a relationship with Charlie. His dad kicked him out of New Life, kicked him out of that. And that is what sent him spiraling. He basically disowned his son for being gay, and hence he killed himself. So Brandon Fraser is living with that guilt because he thinks he did it.
Wow.
And so you find out, then you find out like the caretaker, the friend, is actually his boyfriend's sister. And that's why she's kind of, she's been taking care of him. So it's so weird. This is a weirdly powerful movie and a weirdly depressing movie. But even though everything's going on, he sees the light in his daughter, even though her mom is saying, oh, she's evil. She's doing all these bad things. Cause she even shows like the daughter kind of says, she's like, walk to me. And he tries to walk to her, he falls. And she posts that video on Facebook and just says, not in a million years, basically he's like, oh, she's just a teenager. So no matter what she does, he's trying to give her that glimmer of hope. Like, you're still a good person, because he never had anyone that kind of said he was that good person. And I think he's trying to do one last good thing. His best relationship is with the pizza man, who doesn't even know what he looks like. So pizza guy's dropping off pizza.
How did pizza end up in this fucking situation? So of course we're talking about pizza.
Well, Brandon Fraser's like, money's that he gets delivery, money's in the mailbox, and then after the second time delivery's like, hey, is everything okay? Are you okay? He's like, yep, no, money's, and they're like, well, my name's Dave. Well, my name. So it's weird friendship. And then one of the last things, like, he goes to get the pizza, and the pizza man is actually waiting for him and sees him and is disgusted and leaves. And that just shows, like, you're always willing to help someone when you might not know what they are or what, backgrounds and stuff like that. But once you see it, that just shows like the prejudice of people. And like he Brandon Fraser, he's doesn't like the way he looks. He wants to be, he's just the way God. But yeah, it's, the journey he goes through is very, like I said, it's weirdly, it can be uplifting at times and depressing at times. Like, I think when this movie was over, I think I held because I watched it on my laptop, actually. I was at my desk, and I had my head in my face, my face in my hands, and I'm just staring there. And it made me think, like, I'm just stopping, and I'm just thinking about this. I'm like, I really need to evaluate this whole thing, because it deals with religion, prejudice, what is good, what is not. Because just because someone, like the girl's mom called her evil, he doesn't see the evil, or he knows there's, he's like, she's just a teenager. They just act out, it's the whole cliche, don't judge a book by its cover. But obviously he made some bad choices. He did leave her when she was 8 and never, she thought there was no contact too. She's like, why did you never call me? He's like, well, I called and, talked to your mom and, she just told me what she thought I should know. And so you kind of, the whole movie, you're like, well, did he really call, or is the mother playing, just not telling her the whole thing? So I don't know. So like I said, this movie, like I said, I will never watch this again. And the word enjoyment's hard because, like I said, it is a very good movie. I say people should see this, but it is a hard watch. Again, it's not going to be for everyone because it deals with homosexuality. It deals with, prejudice and all that stuff, we deal with as people. But they don't throw it in your face. This movie ends and you're just like, it's not trying to tell a bigger story. Not like, oh, what happened? I don't know. I can't really say too much, but it did. Like there's certain, like I said, there was parts that actually moved me. And I think part of that's just being a father of a daughter, because you don't want to be a failure to your kids. That's one of the worst feelings you have when you feel like you failed your kid. Like it is how devastating. So there is some parts that like I saw like, damn, I can understand that. So I don't know. So this was a phenomenal movie. I will never watch this again. I might pop in one scene if I need to feel motivated again, but it is a hard watch. I cannot watch this again.
Wow.
But I see why he won the Oscar. He deserved it. Like I don't know who else was up, so I guess I can't say it, but I'm like, I can definitely see it. This is just a well done movie. And it's shot in full screen, you kind of you're just losing it after time because again, you see it and no, in every character there's a reason. Like even though they made bad choices and you should probably not like them, there's still some things that get you rooting for everyone. And but it's again, it's just not. It does it in a good way where it's not preachy, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the hard part is like
Absolutely.
where I rank this because I will, like I said, so this is definitely one of the better movies I've seen this year, and it's definitely up there. I did enjoy it, but again, I don't think I'll watch it again. It's just because it is a tough watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I do put this at number 2. I put it right above Wicked.
Wow.
I considered number 1 a little bit, and I was like, no, because Amelia Perez. I don't know. There's something original about Amelia Perez that I just had to keep it there. But I looked at this, I'm like, this is just it's one of those movies like I compare it to American Beauty in a way. Do you one with I think Kevin Spacey, Annette Bening, where again, a lot of those people are just, they made a lot of bad choices. You shouldn't root for them, but everything kind of ties together. It's just kind of like that in a way. So, but this was just better than that, in my opinion. So yeah, I have to put this at 2. I definitely, like I said, I did enjoy it, but I don't think I can ever watch this again. Except for one part. I think one part, like when I need motivation, I will put this on YouTube and be like, all right, I am a better person. And I do. But yeah, I would say, and he deserved it. And like I said, at the end, like this is probably the most emotional movie I've seen this year. Like, I did obviously feel, and again, I think part of that is being a father of a daughter. And even though circumstances are different, obviously it's the idea of, seeing good in her and just like, but it's tough. But yeah, like I said, at the end, I literally I think I stared at the credits and I just had my face in my hands and I was thinking about this film so much. And I'm like, it is a powerful message, but it's good. It's good. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah. So I have a new number 2.
Awesome.
I have a new number 2. Anyhow, they'll do it. Let us know what you thought about any of these movies and, leave a comment if you actually just skip to the end and, let us know what to watch if you're even watching because no one's listening. I don't know why I do this, so we just cut it and just be like, that's it.
Oh, good.
But until next time.
One day they will.
One day. One day.
One day.
Just go watch some movies, people.